Hello and welcome back to another episode for 52 Press. My name is Sharissa Bradley and I am so excited that you are here. On this episode, we are going to be continuing our journey of the 10 steps to publication, and we are currently on step 8, which is all of the technical stuff. We are going to dive right in. We're going to talk a little bit about KDP, Ingram Spark, and Lulu, which are 3 of the top publishing platforms that you can use to self-publish your book. I'm going to show you all of the details on each of the platforms that you will need to publish your book. Let's jump right into the KDP help page. There is a wealth of information here. If you go directly to kdp.amazon.com, you can click on Format Your Book, and there is no shortage of information here. You can learn everything about how to set your trim size, how to do your margins, how to create the fonts, the fronts, the backs, everything that you need to know for what KDP requires is written out here. There's also videos that you can watch that show these things not that much more detailed, but a little bit more detailed. But here you can see the exact trim size specifications, the height and width, depending on the amount of pages that you have in the book. It also tells you what your minimum number of pages will be. So if you're trying to write a smaller book or a larger book, you'll know here what your actual minimums. If you are publishing a book that has images that go all the way to the ends of the pages, you are going to want a bleed, and the page document size actually has to be larger than what the trim size will be. So all these vocabulary words, bleed, margin, trim, it is all written out for you here, even though it is like a little bit tricky to understand at first. All the rules are written out way in advance so that you don't have to guess on these things when it comes to actually formatting your book if you are formatting and publishing this book all on your own. There's lots of steps here and tools that you can be using. Back at the Help Center, you can learn all about how to price your book, how to link your book, all the different questions. Really, there are a lot of answers here. And if you want to actually go through the process of creating your book, Amazon KDP does have the ability to actually format your whole project here within their system that they have once you do set up a KDP account. So there's a lot that you can do here. If you don't want to buy any software, you can use their cover design template. And they do have videos, but the videos are pretty basic and they don't really say more than what their articles say here. One more super important thing I'll touch on for KDP is how you save your file. It is very important. You're working with your manuscript probably in a writing program like Google Docs or Microsoft Word or Pages. When you actually format your book, it has to be in PDF form, and KDP will not take anything over the file size of 650 megabytes, which isn't very big if you really think about it. If you have a lot of color images, you might have to compress the files. But in order to upload to KDP, it does actually have to be a PDF. So here are some directions on how to export it, save it, actually make sure that your manuscript is fitting within their regulations, because otherwise it gets kicked out after a 72-hour review period, and you don't want to be getting kicked out and having to go back over and over again. There's a lot of little tiny details on this page that you could get lost in, but it is important to just kind of check out exactly what it is that your tool is requiring you to have on their platform. Let's jump right into the Lulu publishing platform. They do have a blog as well that will give you a lot of resources. It does seem like they've given a lot more video content as well as some written blogs on each subject that you would want to learn about. So things like basic page layout, they do have more details that you can go into for this platform. They also give you even more ideas of what these terms are that you might not be familiar with, like the margin and the gutter, and understanding the trim size and the bleed size so that you can actually set your document proportionate to what it is that you want to print. So if you are working on self-publishing your book and you're doing all of this work yourself, there's quite a bit of information out there if you are willing to do a little bit of digging. All of the links to these helpful resources will be in the description box below. And if you want some extra support in designing your own book, there is tons and tons of information here even using all different types of software like Affinity Publisher, tutorials on how to do Microsoft Word to format your book, even though it isn't the most recommended. But once you do start putting all these pieces together, getting that print PDF ready, all of these pages really do become a super helpful resource because they are here to show you exactly what you need before you even get to that point. I definitely recommend picking out the size and the style of your book before you start formatting it so that when you get to this place of actually exporting and putting it up on these platforms that you have everything you need already done. The last one we are going to cover here is Ingram Spark. This is such a great platform because it does give you global distribution, and they did start offering now you can publish your book here for free. And it will become available to Amazon, Apple, and Barnes and Noble. You can also do e-reader from here. So this is kind of like this one-stop shop where you're able to publish your book for free still and have it be distributed to all of these places that you would want to sell on anyways. They do have a little bit of a different pricing model than Amazon KDP, and you do have to bring your own ISBN number with Ingram Spark. They don't give you one or a barcode like Amazon does. But the cool thing about that is because you're not using the Amazon ISBN number, you're actually able to take this book everywhere and publish it everywhere books are sold. So that really does give a lot more reach for this type of book. The same thing with all of the other websites. They all have these help pages that really show you exactly the things that you need to know. They'll show you how to figure out your trim size, how to pick what type of book you want and what you want it to look like. They also give you all the tips that you could possibly need to self-publish, design your book, market your book, distribute your book, as well as you can do your book cover design on their platform. They do have this free downloadable book, which I did download, and it is full of tons of resources, and it does have step-by-step work to help you get through this process yourself. You can pick the different types of book bindings. You can see what types of color, pages, and the different styles that you can print with. So really super helpful resource. And you don't have to go far to get the technical details for your book. They are all on the platform that you want to go with. And you can do this way in advance. So you can look up and have all of this information written in your notes while you're writing your book, while you're designing your book, so that you don't even have to worry about what these types of questions are going to be at the end when you actually come to publish your book. You can get all kinds of support from other people who have written blog posts here, and they are giving you all of the information, and you do get to publish for free. So really a super useful platform and really helpful at giving you all types of different support, including the types of file that you will need to be able to have to upload. Again, this is required that you have a PDF. Again, it is required that your gutter and your bleed and your trim and all of that be taken care of way in advance. Otherwise, it will get kicked out of their review period. But it's all written here for you. You don't have to search for it. Your files need to be in color CMYK. All of this is here, even though it is, if it's new to you, confusing, that's okay. You can come back to it, you can refer to it, and all of these words go across every different platform that you could be on. So when you're looking for your bleed or your margins across all platforms, you will see those words. You do have to bring an ISBN number for Ingram Spark, so that is important to remember. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you on the next video, step 9, and we're going to talk all about how to actually get your book published.